Well, the Browns game is just tomorrow, so we will talk about it in just 1 second. Alrighty, welcome back to Browns Breakdowns. Let me get my audio up so I can hear. Welcome back. We are proud partners, Fanatical Elves Network and Fans First Sports Network. Don't forget our favorite, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. QR code, right, that little thingy right there. That's your QR code. Not your QR code. I've done that like 3 times now. Your referral code. There you go. That if you use it, we get 15% of what you buy. Greatest coffee you'll ever drink. I promise you, it is amazing. So, the Browns play the Bengals tomorrow at noon, I believe. Yep, it is a home game for the Browns. Bengals at Browns, 12 p.m. I will be watching the game. Don't worry about that. So, hopefully, it's a win, but we'll talk about what my predictions are and everything for the game in just 1 second. Now, the Bengals have their own problems, as we know. They have defensive problems mostly. The Browns, same thing. Sorry. The Browns, same thing. They have defensive problems. Both of them have decent offenses. At least that's what we think. So I think it's a pretty even matchup past the Bengals offense, which I think is very good and will be a threat to the Browns if they are not careful. But it's well, they will be a threat to anyone, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So right now, I'll do the injury report in just 1 second. So for the Browns injury report, I can't find the Bengals injury report. It's just like not popping up. So I guess maybe there is no injury report, but there's nothing for the Browns, for the Bengals that I can see. The only person who is considered to be out is Mike Hall Jr. He is out. He was DNP, did not practice on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, Friday. He is officially out for the game. Everyone else is in and has had full to limited practice for the entire thing, so don't worry about people like Denzel Ward. Cedric Tillman was full practice all 3 days. You had people like Cornelius Lucas, he was ankle injury, but free practice all 3 days. So just Mike Hall Jr. is out for the game. Now, again, couldn't find anything for the Bengals, so I'm not totally sure if they have injuries right now. I don't know why I couldn't find anything, but that is the game for you. The only injury was Mike Hall, but it's going to be interesting. Moving on to my predictions, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes because, again, we have a lot of question marks around the team, whether that be you've got okay. I think we're back. Yes, okay. Apologies. My internet crashed for a second there. So we're back here. Don't know what happened. I really do apologize about that because just simply the internet went out on my thing. So let me get the music started again. Maybe nothing's working still. Oh, I'm trying to get the music to go turn on again. Okay, skip a little bit. All right. So we're back after the little mess, that little break. But so, as I was saying, the running backs, right? The running backs, who knows what's going to happen with them? We don't know if they're going to be good or if they're going to be bad, right? We've got no Nick Chubb. A lot of different players are going to be running the ball. Our offensive line, again, that's a very key part of running, is also going to have a lot of changes as well. So it's very dependent on how this offense works. Now, again, defensively, we've got a few new players on the defensive side of the ball who are doing stuff as well. So it's a very it's very new team. There's a lot like quarterback, running back. You've got a lot of new positions being filled by new people. Well, not new positions, but positions being filled by new people. And so who knows what they're going to do, right? Joe Flacco, right? He might be great. He might suck. You never know. Same with Jerome Ford. He might be decent. He also might do really poorly. You've got a lot of things here that you're looking at. And I'm not sure if they're going to be good in what or where they'll be good, where they'll be bad, things like that. And then defensively, again, a lot of new players, positions being filled by new guys. You've still got those key guys like Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, but a lot of the other positions are new players as well. So it is very interesting to see how this is going to go just for the Browns alone. And I guess I'll talk about the Bengals really quickly in just 1 second after we play the advertisement. So we will be right back as I play these ads. And we're back here, Browns breakdowns after those wonderful ads. So, Bengals, right? Let's talk about the Bengals. Do we think they're going to be amazing? Do we think they're going to be terrible? Well, first of all, I think the obvious one, if you're an NFC North fan, you kind of heard about, even if you're just an NFL fan, you kind of know about this, and that's the defense of the Bengals. It's bad, right? A lot of people say they have a very bad defense. They don't have a great defense. It's not, I don't think it's going to be worse than the NFL. I think there's still going to be better teams, but I do not think it's going to be a good defense whatsoever. So obviously that's a very interesting addition to the game, is how bad/good is this Bengals defense going to be. And if they're bad, it might make our game a little bit easier because it might be able to allow us to keep up with the Bengals offense, which is obviously very good. So I think that is an important factor, will be how the Bengals defense performs this game. If they're as bad as everyone says, then hey, that might make our game a little easier. But if they're actually, half decent, maybe they're not great, but they're there, they exist, then it might make our game much harder because it'll be much harder for us to keep up with the offense that the Bengals are fielding. So I think that's a very key point right now that I would pay attention to, is how does the defense for the Bengals look? Because if the Bengals defense does poorly, like I said, it makes our game much easier because, well, much easier, because it allows us to score and keep up with the Bengals offense, which will obviously be scoring a lot because they're quite good. But if the defense is actually okay and is able to stop you, then you've got a problem, because if you can't stop the Bengals offense, then you've got a big problem. And that's obviously true for just the NFL in general. You can't stop the other team and they stop you, you lose the game, right? But with something like this, where there's such a stark contrast between the defense of the Bengals and the offense of the Bengals in terms of goodness, probably not the right word, but whatever, it's a very stark difference. And for something like that theory of if you can't stop them but they can stop you is exponentially bigger because of just simply how big of a difference between the two sides of the ball is. So hopefully we can exploit their bad defense. I think that would be very important for just every team in the NFL to exploit their bad defense, because if you can't exploit their defense, then you're not going to win. Now, it's this, again, like I said, that's the same for all games, but this one especially is compounded simply because of how poor their defense is. So I do think watching and exploiting the Bengals defense will be very important to winning this game. And if you can't do it, you're probably not going to win. So that's kind of my assessment here of the Bengals, is just, are they going to be able to keep up? Are we going to be able to keep up, with how the Bengals will perform on the offensive side of the ball? And hey, if we get a few stops, that would be good, right? Like, obviously that's what I want, is a few stops here and there. And it's really hard to not stop an offense, regardless of how good they are. You'll get a stop or two here and there. So that's kind of my my hope here with the Bengals. Now, looking at a score prediction, because I usually do these, it's hard because, again, we haven't seen anything yet. So I'd say for a score prediction, I don't like making score predictions either as much, just because they're kind of unrealistic. But for score prediction, just for fun, I'll say 31-21. So Bengals get 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Browns get 3 touchdowns, and that's your game. So 31-21, I think, could be a realistic score. You also, if you want to go a little lower, say both defenses are actually better than we thought, maybe say 24-14 if you want to be there, or the Browns offense is just really bad. So somewhere between, I'd say, for the Bengals, just a range, 20 to 30 points-ish for the Bengals, and then 14 to 24 points for the Browns, I'd say would be our reasonable gap between the highest scoring and the lowest scoring. That's just me. Again, maybe someone thinks different, but Vegas has the Browns losing, I believe, which is understandable. They didn't do good at all last year, but I think that's kind of crazy. I think it'll be more competitive, but it is going to be an uphill battle regardless of what I think. It's going to be a tough battle. The Bengals are a good team. Offensively, defensively, again, it's kind of shaky, but looking at it, yes, it is going to be an uphill battle. It isn't going to be easy. It isn't going to be fun, but I think the Browns do still have a chance regardless of that. I think looking at this game, regardless of the fact that it's going to be a hard-fought battle, I still think the Browns could realistically win. And if I put a percentage on it, I'd say 35% Browns, right? Again, not going to be easy, but I think it's doable, and I think it could happen. Now, do we want it to happen because of the draft and everything? Do we want better picks over whatever? Maybe. I don't know. But looking at it, week 1, opening day, I think seeing somewhere between a 30 to a 10-point difference between the two teams is probably not all too unrealistic. So that is basically the podcast done. I hope everyone enjoyed it, other than my weird break in the middle, because my internet crashed for a second there. But I hope everyone enjoyed. I'm excited for the Browns. Again, I'm just kind of getting into the flow of things. So as you see, this podcast is a little shorter, but just kind of getting into the flow of things. There's not a whole lot to talk about yet either. There'll be more as we get throughout the season and we learn about players and things and teams. So I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope you all had a great opening day on Thursday. I hope everyone has a great Browns watch. I go Browns, obviously, and I will talk to you guys. Turn down my audio so I don't break the speakers. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.